Welcome back to Across the Pitch. It's episode 9, and let me tell you, the football world has been serving up drama hotter than a cup of tea on a cold morning. We've got goals, we've got upsets, and yes, we've got enough missed chances to make you throw your remote at the TV. So, buckle up, grab a snack, and let's dive into the chaos. Oh, and if you haven't subscribed yet, seriously, what are you waiting for? Hit that button and let's get rolling. All right, let's dive into this one. Borussia Dortmund won, TSG Hoffenheim won, a match that started with promise, flirted with chaos, and left everyone wondering what could have been. Dortmund came out in the second half looking like they had something to prove. Giovanni Reina, the star of the moment, wasted no time and smashed a beauty into the top right corner in the 46th minute. It was one of those goals that makes you nod and think, yeah, this kid's got it. The assist was sharp, the finish was clinical, and the Signal Iduna Park was buzzing. For a moment, Dortmund looked like they were going to control this game. But, oh no, this is Dortmund we're talking about. They don't make anything easy. Fast forward to stoppage time, and here comes Jacob Brun Larsen for Hoffenheim. 91st minute. The ball drops into the box after a smart header from Haris Tabakovic, and Larsen calmly slots it into the bottom right corner. It was a sucker punch, plain and simple. The Dortmund defense? Caught napping, and Hoffenheim made them pay. Let's talk missed chances, though, because there were plenty. Karim Adeyemi was a constant threat for Dortmund, but his radar? Way off. 1 minute, he's weaving through defenders like it's FIFA on beginner mode. The next, he's sending shots into orbit. Serhou Guirassy had a solid effort saved late in the game. But again, it wasn't enough to break Hoffenheim's resilience. On the other side, Hoffenheim's Adam Hlozek and Andre Kramaric were everywhere but the score sheet. Hlozek, in particular, had a handful of chances that either went wide, high, or straight at the keeper. They were creating opportunities but couldn't finish the job until Brun Larsen decided to step in and steal the show. Hoffenheim deserves credit for their grit. They weathered Dortmund's pressure for most of the match and kept themselves in it with solid defending and a bit of luck. Meanwhile, Dortmund will be kicking themselves for not putting this game to bed when they had the chance. By the final whistle, it felt like a missed opportunity for Dortmund. They had more possession, more chances, and arguably the better players on the pitch, but they couldn't make it count. Hoffenheim? They'll be delighted to leave with a point, especially considering they snatched it at the very end. 1-1. A night of frustration for Dortmund, a moment of triumph for Hoffenheim, and a game that reminds us all why football is as unpredictable as it gets. Let's hope Dortmund sorts it out soon, because performances like this won't get them where they want to be. All right, let's talk RB Leipzig versus Eintracht Frankfurt. An absolute nail-biter that ended 2-1 in Leipzig's favor. This game had everything. Goals, drama, and just enough tension to keep you glued to your seat. Leipzig started strong, and by the 19th minute, Benjamin Sesko had already opened the scoring. A pinpoint header from the right side of the 6-yard box off a beautiful cross. It was one of those goals where you just nod and think, yep, that's how it's done. Frankfurt's defense? Watching like they had front-row tickets. But Frankfurt wasn't about to sit back. Just 20 minutes later, Nathaniel Brown equalized with a stunning left-footed shot that nestled into the bottom right corner. Assisted by Can Uzun, it was a moment of brilliance in a game where Frankfurt was often chasing shadows. Suddenly, it's 1-1, and we've got ourselves a game. The second half belonged to Leipzig, though. In the 51st minute, Lois Openda stepped up with a clinical finish into the bottom left corner. Christoph Baumgartner delivered a perfect assist, and Openda made no mistake. 2-1 to Leipzig, and from that point on, it felt like they had the edge. Frankfurt tried to mount a comeback. Omar Marmoush was everywhere, taking shots and even hitting the bar with a free kick in the first half. Late in the game, Igor Matanovic and Fares Chaibi both had golden opportunities to level the score, but just couldn't find the target. The tension in those final minutes? Palpable. Leipzig held their ground, thanks in part to a strong defensive showing and some solid saves from Martin van de Voort. Meanwhile, Frankfurt will be kicking themselves for not capitalizing on the chances they had, especially in the last 10 minutes when they piled on the pressure. Final whistle, 2-1 to Leipzig. They take all 3 points and keep themselves firmly in the mix. For Frankfurt, it's a game of what-ifs. They showed fight, but the lack of finishing in key moments cost them. A thrilling match, but Leipzig just had that little extra quality when it mattered most. All right, let's dive into Heidenheim versus Stuttgart, a match that ended 3-1 to Stuttgart, but gave us enough action to keep us talking. From stunning goals to moments of absolute madness, this game had a little bit of everything. Stuttgart wasted no time asserting themselves. In the 20th minute, Maximilian Mittelstädt opened the scoring with a crisp left-footed strike into the bottom right corner. Nick Woltemade provided the assist, threading the ball beautifully, and Mittelstädt finished it like he was writing a tutorial on composure. 1-0 to Stuttgart, and Heidenheim already looked rattled. But Heidenheim wasn't about to go quietly. In the 41st minute, Paul Warner equalized with a rocket from outside the box. It was a high, dipping shot that left everyone, goalkeeper included, staring in awe. 1-1, and suddenly, it felt like Heidenheim had found their spark. That spark, however, didn't last long. Just before halftime, Enzo Malo restored Stuttgart's lead with a perfectly placed header into the bottom left corner. It was a textbook finish after a great cross, and just like that, Stuttgart went into the break 2-1 up. The second half saw Heidenheim trying desperately to claw their way back, but Stuttgart was having none of it. Their defense held firm, and Alexander Nubel made some clutch saves to keep Heidenheim at bay. Matthias Hansa came close with a couple of efforts for Heidenheim, but the finishing touch just wasn't there. And then, the dagger. In the 85th minute, Stuttgart sealed the deal with a penalty. Nick Woltemade stepped up and smashed it into the high center of the net, making it 3-1 and putting the game well out of Heidenheim's reach. Despite the scoreline, Heidenheim had their moments. They pressed hard, created chances, and gave Stuttgart a few scares. But Stuttgart's quality shone through when it mattered most. 3 points in the bag, and Stuttgart continues to climb. For Heidenheim, it's back to the drawing board. They'll rue missed chances and defensive lapses, but there's no denying their fighting spirit. Stuttgart, on the other hand, proved why they're a team to watch this season. 3-1, job done. And that's a wrap for episode 9 of Across the Pitch. Thanks for hanging out and breaking down all the football madness with us. If you loved what you heard, or even if you didn't, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe, and drop a comment below. Let's hear your takes, predictions, and, of course, your roasts. We'll catch you next time for more goals, drama, and all the chaos you can handle. Until then, stay passionate, keep the banter alive, and we'll see you back here on Across the Pitch.